Hi! Wow, it's the last night. I can't believe how quick this week's gone. Um, I hope you've enjoyed it, and even more than enjoyed it, that you've got something from, yeah, just, what would you call it? An exploration of the three principles? Because I think that's all we can do with the three principles is explore them. I'm just checking my Facebook as always. Um, yeah, there are some people that do some training around the three principles. You can find those on Google or something. But for me, it's not about having a course on the three principles. It's more about exploring them. And the more we explore them, the more we'll have insights and the more we kind of just understand how things work, what it's like to be a human being. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of recap over things and answer any questions if anybody has any questions. Because I know when I first heard about the three principles, I was like, wow, that's amazing. That's really, I so get that. That is absolutely amazing. And then I lost it. And it was kind of like, yes, I was triggered. Yes, my normal life came back again. And it's a very slow process of letting things seep in and just having the conversation over and over, which I suppose for me is quite easy because I have this conversation with people on a daily basis because I use it in my work and through my coaching. So I'm constantly exploring and having that conversation anyway. But if you're kind of out there in the wilderness on your own, it's very difficult to try and explain it or explore it or understand it even. Hi Jackie, glad you're here. So yeah, it's just about being curious. I know it's up there. I'm gonna get a bloody t-shirt with that on. I think I'll put that saying, just be curious on a t-shirt. Because that's all it is. It's just having a conversation and being curious, and something will stick, something will resonate with you that will encourage you to maybe explore a little bit deeper. So I would that would be my recommendation to continue on your journey. So just as a recap, what the three principles are: it's universal mind, universal thought, and universal consciousness. And the three things are intertwined. They come as a package, which is why it's called the three principles. And if you remember right at the very beginning, I was talking about a television and universal mind being the electricity, and the consciousness being the television, and the thought being the program that we put on. And hi, Gemma. And if you can kind of relate to that our thoughts are like a program. It's not real. Our thoughts create the reality that we live in. That's how it works. And I can remember, I don't know if any of you know, I don't know how long people have followed me, but I did my transactional analysis training with Sue Cleaver, who's an actress on Coronation Street. And she was involved in the setup of Parent Plus, which is a parenting page that I also run. And I went with my daughter. She's in the RAF and she was going to the Falklands for 4 months on tour. And Sue got us. I don't know if she wangled it, but basically we got on set. And I actually was filmed in The Rover's Return, which was amazing. I loved it. But we went round all the sets. We went in Underworld, and we went everywhere. But it was all fake. And I was gutted. I was shattered. You kind of walked in the front door of Roy's Rolls, and it was just like it is on the television. And then you literally took one step further, and it was like nothing. And in the stairs, you kind of go up the stairs, but they don't go anywhere. And it was like wow, this is not what I thought it was. This is not what I see on the television, and this is not what I thought it was. And then the filming is done somewhere. I'm not sure where they've done that because I know they've moved since then, so it's probably all different. But when we went, but I think about that quite a lot because it kind of, hi Susan, don't worry about you, you're not late, I've only been here 5 minutes. But it's kind of like how our thoughts create our reality. And hi Marina, that's okay, don't worry. Our thoughts create our reality, but it's all made up. It's all fantasy. And that for me took a while to sink in. It's like, well, no, it's real. If somebody does something, and I know we spoke about this in previous things, if somebody does something that makes me angry or upsets me, which nobody can do that, then that's real. My reaction and my thoughts about that are real. But the more you get curious about this, the more you kind of understand that it's my perception of what is happening in front of me. It's my perception, and I'm only looking at it through my eyes, and my eyes are my reality, not anybody else's. So if you imagine that you're having an argument with somebody, I see it through my eyes and they see it through theirs, and we will have completely different points of view and come away feeling completely different from that argument or that connection. So who's right and who's wrong? Which is real? And the more I toyed with that idea and those thoughts, the more things started to kind of make sense with me. So when I know Marina, you put a question in the private group, and I think it's something that a lot of us experience is when we get caught up in that thought storm. What do we do to stop the thoughts? How can I stop getting caught up in this thought storm? 6 and 9 syndrome. Not a clue what you're talking about there, Susan. But when we get caught up in the thought storm, there isn't a process to follow. There isn't a step 1, 2, and 3. It's literally to allow the thoughts, let them run their course, let them do what they want, and it will naturally settle. And I get that is so difficult. But the more you explore this and the more you are kind of at ease with a thought just being a thought has no form. It's just a sort of thing until we give it energy and bring it to life, until it resonates with us, until we absorb it and take it in and then put another thought on top of it and another thought on top of it. Look at 6 in a different way and it's 9. Oh, right, yeah. I had no idea. See, I understand what you're saying, and yes, it's a good way of looking at it, but it's about not using our logical part of us to try and work things out, because that's what takes us down a road of thinking our way out of thinking, or thinking our way out of overthinking. If there was anything that I could say, what I'd say is look for the feeling. Look, when our mind quietens down, we just innately know what we need to do and how we need to be, and that's the feeling. That's the innate wellness that's coming through. And I sometimes talk about thoughts being like buses. Literally, they're coming all the time, one after the other after another, and it's our choice which one we jump on, which one we take a ride on, which one we sit on and enjoy the view. And if we're on one that's a bit shitty, we can get off it and wait for the next one, because there will be a next one, and just wait for a better bus with a better thought, if that makes sense. And just remember the escalator or the glass elevator, that when we're in a better place, when our state of mind is at a higher level, we can see things more clearly, we can make sense of things. I know I've spoke about the things that trigger me. I still get triggered, I don't want you to be under the illusion that I've got this sussed and I'm absolutely fine and I don't overthink and I have a thought and it doesn't impact on me or anything. Of course it does, because I'm like everybody else, and at times my state of mind is not in a very good place, and I will get triggered and I will respond and react. But it gets to a point where I just know that it's a waste of energy and it's a pointless exercise, because the only person that it's impacting on is me. The only person that's affected is me, and that kind of makes sense. Just try to look at things from a different view. We can understand ourselves better. Yeah. And I know I said right at the beginning, makes total sense to me. I like that with the buses. It's a good way of putting it. Yeah. Or a taxi or a train. Another thing, I know I'm always saying this, another thing I say a lot of things with clients when we're making a change, especially if we're feeling anxious and stressed and overwhelmed, it can be a really big deal. Hi, Louise. It can be a really big deal that is scary. It can be really easy when we're ready to make that. That's a nail on the head. I like that. Good. Not sure which bit it was, Jackie, but run with that. When I say it can be really hard, I don't want people to think that making a change is really hard for everybody. All it takes is one thought. That one thought can change everything, because it points us in a different direction and we start to look at different things. But one of the things I say to clients a lot is that if you imagine that now your life as it is, you're on a train, and every day you get on that same train, it stops at the same stops, the same people get on and off at the same stops, you know the destination, you know where it's ending up, and you know how it all plays out. And sometimes that's what our life is like. We're just replaying the same story over and over, expecting a different outcome. And what coaching and therapy and the three principles does is it kind of asks you to get on a different train, which in itself can be quite apprehensive, but you don't know where it's going. You don't know the people that are getting on it. You don't know the people that are getting off. You don't know the names of the stops, and everything feels different. But what I want to say to you is you can, Susan's nodding all the time again. What you can do is get back on the old train at any point. It's not like a do or die thing. If I make a decision to make a change and explore the three principles, or to get some therapy or some coaching, or to just try one little thing different, that I've got to sit with that for the rest of my life. I've made the decision and now I've got to run with it. That's not how it works. We will get rubber banded back. We will get on that old train, the familiar train that takes us to where we are. But it's about having an awareness that we're on that train. When we do things out of awareness, we have no choice to change things. So it's just about looking at things through a different set of eyes, and putting down, and I know this can be quite, difficult, but putting down all the things that we think we know about anxiety, all the things we think we know about stress and overwhelm and overthinking, and just, you can pick it up again, but just be willing to explore something different, knowing that we can always go back to the good old place. It's not really a good place, and a lot of it is quite negative, but it's familiar and we know how it works, and that's a lot for some people. When I talk with clients about making a change, I often talk about what I call rubber banding, where they'll have an insight, they make a real big step forward and something shifts, but then they kind of rubber band right back because it's scary. And when we've lived our life doing certain things over and over and over again, we don't even need to think about it. We're just in autopilot, just doing the same thing because it's familiar, because we know how it works. So again, I know I've said it over and over. I don't want you to be critical and beat yourself up over this. It's just about exploring. And, I would strongly recommend that hi Zoe, that you go over into the free group, because there's a bunch of like-minded people that have heard me spouting on about this for a while. I don't like change. You're not on your own, Jackie. There's a lot of us that don't like change. It's knowing that if you decide to attempt to make a change, or if you make one small change, you can go back again. You can't unlearn what you learn about yourself. That's true. We can never 100% go back. But the way our life script works is we step in and out of it constantly all the time. Why is it so scary to go to a new place even though you want to? That's a really good question, Louise. Because we don't know what happens when we get there. And as human beings, one, we always focus on the negative. We're kind of primed to think negatively about everything. It's in our DNA. It goes back to caveman. You know, it's just what we do. We're really good at noticing the negative stuff. But there's a lot of fear about the unknown. But it's about putting a different slant on that. You know, we might love the unknown. It might be brilliant. But unless we're willing to at least open the door and have a look out, we don't even need to step out of the door. We can just open the door and have a nosy, see what's on the other side, and just be curious. That's all I want from anybody from this week on anxiety, is to just be curious. We don't need to change everything. In fact, I would strongly recommend that you don't go for big changes. This is a slow process. This is about you understanding a little bit more of yourself and being in the conversation and just being open to doing something different. It's not 5 steps to making a massive change in your life that's going to last forever, because that's too much sometimes. I'm looking down here at what I've got to say. One of the other things is that don't force this. Having an insight is not something that we can force, or that we can learn how to do it, or once we've had one, try to work out what happened so that you have another one. It's not how it works. And as well, I don't, this could just be me, but there's certain things that I know I do because it makes me feel comfortable and safe. And when I'm not in a good place, I will replay that because I get comfort from it and security from it. So I'm okay with that. There are certain things that I don't do that are really weird because it makes me feel unsafe or insecure. And again, I'm okay with that. It's when I do things out of my awareness that I get confused or muddled. One of the things, I don't know if you notice, I always wear round crew neck t-shirts, and there's a reason for that. Because when I'm anxious, I don't like anything around my neck. Even just saying the word polo neck freaks me out because it's round. I don't know why that is, don't know where it comes from. And to be perfectly honest, I don't need to. I just know it. So I avoid polo necks, and I'm okay with that. Definitely not just you, LOL. Oh, thank God, Louise. Sometimes I share things and I think, yeah, I sound like a right Fruit Loop. But it's not about what's normal and what's not normal. What should I do and what I shouldn't do? It doesn't matter because we're all unique. It's about that resistance versus acceptance thing. I accept an awful lot about myself and who I am. Some of it I want to change, and some of it I'm okay with it. It doesn't really impact on me, and it doesn't really affect me, so it's fine. Some people don't like taking medication because they feel like it's a step too far, or I'll never be able to come off it, or it shows a weakness, or it's a crutch, and all these, again, it's just thought based and it's not real. I'm not pro or against medication. It's entirely our decision for whatever we think is right or wrong at the time, and I'm okay with that. Like I said the other day, I take Happy Pill when I'm flying, and I'm not bothered that that's what I need to do to get on a flight to go and enjoy a holiday. I don't see that as a failure. So it's again, it's about our perspective on certain things, how we think and feel about certain behaviours. But just start to really be honest and authentic with yourself and get to know who you are, because then you're aware of what you want to change and if you want to change anything. And if you do, then get in touch and get support. If you don't, then that's absolutely fine, but just accept. I never felt anxious until I lost my mum, and gradually it's got worse. If my routine is disturbed, then it's chaos. Zoe, you're not on your own, darling. There's so many of us that like the routine, that like to know. It's getting on that same train all the time where we know exactly what's going to happen. But it's not always the best. Do you know what I mean? To just get off the train and go to a different stop. Zoe, I know you love travelling, so this metaphor might actually work for you. It's we can get on a different train and have a look at the view out the window. We can stay on the same train and just sit in a different seat and see things differently. It's just when we replay the same behaviour over and over and we expect a different outcome, it's not going to happen. Get on the same train but just sit in a different seat and see what it feels like, metaphorically or real. Zoe, that's exactly what I'm like. Yeah, like I said at the beginning of this, when I said ask questions and there isn't any silly questions, a lot of us are going through the same thing. A lot of us have the same questions, the same thoughts and feelings. Which again, what I was saying, jump over into the private group and share. I'm a lurker in a lot of groups, but don't be a lurker. Put a. I think Marina commented in the private group. Brilliant. Say what's going on for you, because there will be other people that will jump on underneath saying, "Oh my God, yeah, I do that." We can support each other through this, and to me, that's what this is all about. It's getting rid of some of the stigma and normalizing mental health. Our physical health changes. We get older and it changes. Something happens, we trip up, we fall. My eyes, I've got absolute crap eyesight. I'm blind in one eye. I can only see out with one, which is why I have to change my glasses and everything else. And I talk about that quite happily. Mental health is just the same. It changes day to day and it fluctuates. Sometimes we're in a brilliant place and nothing hits us. It just ricochets off us. And other times it goes in deep. But I can't get on that train on my own anymore. You don't need to get on it on your own, Zoe. You don't need to. There's enough of us around that somebody will get on that train with you. And to me, that's where change comes about, is having somebody with you on the journey. Somebody that you don't even need to explain what's going on. They just get it. They just sit with you on the bench while it passes. So what else have I got? Oh, right, I need to let you know that what I'm going to do, I'll probably leave it up for today and over the weekend. I'm going to take all these videos off Facebook because of the comments. Going anywhere on my own petrifies me now. Oh, Zoe. I'll always come with you. If ever you want to go anywhere, if I'm not working. Yeah. I'm no good on public transport. I can't be bothered with that. I'd rather drive. But if ever you need to go anywhere, just let me know. So yes, I'm going to take all these videos off the main page and I'm going to delete all the comments. And it's not personal, but I'm going to upload them onto YouTube and put them in a playlist, Week on Anxiety, so that you can see all the videos. If you want to go back and re-listen to anything, you can do that. Subscribe to my YouTube while you're up there. It's Jackie Jones Coaching. Thanks, Jackie. I'm not just saying it either. One, because the more I post on this, the further down the videos are going to go in case anybody wants to see them. And two, I am a bit of a stickler for confidentiality and things. And yeah, I think I'd just feel happier if it was off the main page and it was in YouTube, where people won't necessarily have it popping up on the Facebook page thing. So that's what I'm going to do, but I'll probably leave it up tonight, and then over the weekend I'll take it down. So has anybody got any other questions? I think I put down what's next on my list of things. What is next? What is it that you want? The things that, you know me, never being able to go far without medication, but I'm okay with that. Yeah. Don't question it. I think the more we resist things, the harder it is. If we're accepting of who we are and what we need to do, then it just becomes easier. And a lot of the behaviours, we don't need to do them anymore. I could probably wear a pole and neck if I wanted to. I probably will do as I get older because of my turkey neck or whatever you call it. In fact, I've never thought of that. Maybe I should do. A cowl neck, maybe. Maybe not a pole and neck, maybe a cowl neck. So yeah, what's next? Jump over into the private group. It's free. You don't need to pay anything. I do post memes in there. You can ask questions, and only the members of the group that are in there can actually see that. So that would be something else that you could do. I have got the courses next week. Thank you so much for the people that have purchased the course and the intent delving deeper in on anxiety. And how that's going to run is it's not going to be on Facebook. They're going to be Zoom calls that will be recorded and put in a private group that is hidden. So it's exclusive for the people that have bought the live course. And for a week, there's a Zoom call every night like this where they can ask questions and everything. And then every Friday for the following 3 weeks. So it's kind of like a month of support. And then after that, I think what I'm looking at is a membership. Trying to get it off Facebook though. I don't like things on Facebook at the moment, especially around anxiety and mental health. I think there's a lot of negativity around that. So I kind of want it off any platforms so that it's away from everything. So that's what I've got coming up next. And if this is the end of our journey together, I hope that you've got something from it. If you've got anything, then feel free to comment and message me. And if you've got time, I'd love for you to leave a review on the page or on Google or something. Because it's mainly clients that look at this page, and obviously for confidentiality reasons, people don't like putting a name to anything. Which is why I haven't got that many reviews. So if you have got anything from it, then feel free to do that. The YouTube has got lots of free videos that are on there. I think there's 76 videos of when I was working for Chorley FM. My sister's on quite a few of them, so there's quite a few funny ones in there. I think we did menopause bingo one week where we were just looking at all the signs and symptoms of the menopause because we're both of a certain age. I think there's over 30, and some of them, a burning tongue was one. I didn't even know that was a thing. It was quite interesting, that show. So everybody's quite quiet tonight. I'm not sure if anybody's got any questions or anything that they'd like to say, or if that's it, we call it a day. I feel like last day of school, you know, when you have that thing where you don't want to finish it. I'll probably miss coming on here. Very quiet. I never know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing when people go quiet. What's everybody doing for the week? Where is everybody? Maybe we can do that. I've not really told you a lot about me. I don't know whether you follow me or not. I'm in a little village called Coppell, in Lancashire, which is probably about 40 minutes outside of Manchester. Yeah, and maybe I should say this for posterity. The next village along to us is in Greater Manchester and we're not. That's how close we are to this latest intervention lockdown type thing that's going on. Louise, it's been great. Thank you so much. Oh, no problem, Louise. We need to message and catch up again. So yeah, I'm in a little village called Coppell that's about 40 minutes outside of Manchester. Yeah, you probably know an awful lot about me. My niece has a pub in Coppell. Does she? I used to run a pub in Chorley. What pub does your niece have in Coppell? What is the Printers, Wheatsheaf, Springfield, Wagon and Horses up at the top? Marina, thank you, Jackie. I'll see you on the other side, no doubt. Susan's from Coppell. Was it who was it? I can't remember who it was that had the fell ponies. That was down in Cornwall. The Wheatsheaf. Oh wow! Do you know I'm not a drinker. I don't really, because I was a landlady and I've worked in pubs since I was 18. I tend to not go in pubs. I leave that to all the young uns now. Yeah. So it's just nice to know where people come from, and I think the internet and social media and everything is making the world a much smaller place now. Apart from the time difference, that can be a bit of a ball ache, so to speak, when you're doing any Zoom calls or anything, if people are in a different country or whatever. I don't even know whether Scotland is different to us. Is Scotland about 2 minutes ahead or behind of us? I don't know. But yeah, that can be a bit of a bummer. But literally, there is nowhere in the world where we can't talk and see each other now, which is wonderful to a certain extent. So yes, if there's anybody not got any more questions, then it's 3 minutes past 9 and it's Friday night, so I think we'll call it a day. You can message me at any time. You can direct message me off the Facebook, or Jackie at jackiejones.co.uk. You can send me an email, and I will endeavour to answer any questions that you've got. If you Jackie wanted to know about face-to-face. Face-to-face, yes. I've not done any face-to-face since the second week in March, I think it is. And I'm not looking at going back doing face-to-face until probably September, depending on how things go. I kind of had this thing in my head that once my son goes back to school, in September, then I will start looking at face-to-face. But this is really, really, really bad of me. But I've got a therapy room in the extension that's just down past there that is at the moment full of 2 bikes and 2 stairgates and all sorts. It's kind of like a bit of a storeroom now. And the thought of having to get that ready for clients to come back, all I need to do now is make sure that there's a 2 foot by 6 foot clear bit behind me, and I quite like that. But I will have to get back to opening the doors up again. My clients have adjusted really well to going online. Yeah, I thought I would lose some, or some would say that they'll come back when things are more back to normal. But they've stuck at it, which has been quite nice. Yeah, it'll be different seeing people. I haven't really seen that many people during lockdown other than close family, which has been interesting. I'm not sure how I'll feel when I'm released back into society again. It's kind of like a lot of us got anxious when this happened, and we've kind of got a new norm now. And then we come out the other side and there's a bit of apprehension, and it's going to take a while. And I think we need to just, practice self-care and a bit of mindfulness, and see how we get on with it. But just reach out. If anybody needs any help or support, just reach out. I did put a bit of a gratitude journal that I I made up in the private group. It is in the files at the top of the page, but I think you can just click on it and download it from there. It's just something that I put together in Canva. So just a few thoughts on, and I think I put quite a few quotes off Sydney Banks that are in there that might just tweak your interest a little bit more to go and Googling. Thanks ever such a lot, Jackie, for your time. Night, night. See you soon. Night, night, sweetheart. Right, I shall call it a day then. And yeah, I will be in the private group doing lives, not every night, but I will pop in there and obviously answer any question. Thank you for your time. I've really enjoyed this week. Oh, thanks, Jackie. Don't be a stranger. I'm just looking at that picture that's on there. That's outside the wheat sheaf, isn't it? On your profile picture. I told you I'm as blind as a bat. I can't see a damn thing. Right, I am going, and I shall hopefully catch up with you all next week sometime. Take care and have a good weekend. Bye.